Maybe so. Ash is known to be pretty powerful here, but Buds, over the course of the last few matches, has actually been playing a reasonable amount of Sombra. We've seen him be quite effective on that hero, but does look like he's going to be rolling out here on the Widowmaker. I'd say this is one of Bud's more signature heroes. He's got pretty fantastic flicking aim and attitude. We're coming out on the Pharams. He's going to be pretty reminiscent of what we saw from Faye in our last match.
They're putting a whole lot of pressure on Underwater Squad as well. Far going extremely low already. Attitude doing a good job pushing everybody back, and this is not what you want to see from a 3-3 comp. You want them to be just rushing onto the point, but Skyfoxes is just so much more quicker actually just taking this high ground control.
Here they are. Faye's going to be checking on Underwater Squad, making sure that they can't move in without being given a little bit of a tap here on their Attitude, picking up Panic straight away. That is going to mean they're ripped apart.
Yep, 3 supports already dead. Derek is going to follow him. No way Riptide's going to be able to get away, even if he's on the Lucio. Look at that attitude already. Rocket Barrage available, and they even cap the point. Buzz is going to take this forward high ground position now. Underwater Squad are going to have to pull out something tricky here to try and deal with this. They're actually jumping over to Widowmaker of their own, Harry, and even Baboon, obviously, on the mug.
Yeah, Derek's got to go man-on-man with Buds. I don't think that's going to be a very good matchup for him. Buds is a pretty well-renowned Widow, and he's hitting shot after shot thus far already. Attitude, of course, as well, with that damage boost, can force out a load of resources. Ice is going to get aggressive to try and take Attitude out of the air, but looks like he's going to be punished very harshly for that.
Yeah, you can see Derek actually switching back over to the Zaya, changed his mind completely. Buds has got sights, and he'll be able to spot everybody out. The rest of his team as well. Baboon is going to pay him a little visit, not once but twice. In fact, Derek's going to take out Buds with just a cheeky right click. There will be the barrage coming through from Attitude, taking out Panic, but he is swiftly dealt with by Icy. Clone Man finding a kill of his own, but he is going to get stunned up and has to use that Primal Rage to keep everybody off the point. Baboon is going to go down as they are still continuing to contest. A self-destruct has been launched into the air by Icy as well, but that doesn't stop Clone Man just running a rampage in the back line, refusing to go down. Even Lastro actually using the Transcendence to keep him alive. Buds is back in the fight, and he's already killed off Far.
Maybe he has. Icy already got his eyes on Buds. Buds having to get away from here. Does have Max Pocket at his back to keep himself surviving, but Baboon's already on him.
Fade gets instantly grabbed, but that self-destruct will stop him from actually going down himself. Matt goes so low, in fact, taken out by Icy in midair. Those micro missiles doing a lot of work, but Icy actually falling as well as his mech, and even the main tank now of Underwater Squad going down as well. Skyfoxes are just continuing to hold regardless of how many people they actually lose. Now Derek is all alone to actually fend for himself. Has got the Lucio to actually speed him on out of there and get a full regroup. They managed to kill off Clone Man, but they've only got one more fight left, Harry.
Yeah, they need that full regroup, Jules, because only 8% stands between Skyfoxes and claiming our first stage on Busan. Here comes the Coalescence. It's going to be used mostly on Attitude to use that anti-air range.
Gotta do it, but actually he's got himself another barrage. Buds even with those emphasize up in 10% as well to make sure they can spot everybody out. Lastro using that Transcendence on the point, forces out a sound barrier coming through from Reptile to match the healing output. Buds activating those emphasize as well. Panic managing to kill off Mac though will make sure Attitude doesn't receive the healing he needs, and Underwater Squad finally find the flip.
They will. Finally, this does mean, however, one fight and they will lose downtown. Buds can get a pick here and there. Maybe Attitude can get something. Nope, he's going to swap over from the fire. Actually, forgo the barrage in order to make sure that he does have the additional survivability of the Brigitte. It's just going to be running up with a straight 3-3 with a Zenyatta here for the side of Meta Skyfoxes. And Baboon, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Does not have that consistent shielding. Can be easily farmed by FaZe and Buds once he has that Discord Orb on him.
It's not what you want to be. You can't be in the front line against Clone Man. He has so much protection from that, well, using that Lucio, a bit of an offensive is a good defensive power. I can't speak. You know what I meant. A good offense is as good as a good defense, that's for sure. Derek doing a good job though. Nice two-man grab, straight into a couple of plasma mortars. And that was what I meant there, was because the Zenyatta puts out so much damage plus the Discord Orb, Clone Man can be extremely aggressive as they are going up against a Moira.
Yeah, however, Baboon will be able to be extremely aggressive in this next fight. Will have the Coalescence at his back, and here you're willing to force a surgical strike. Maybe you could get Lastro to use that Transcendence in a less than ideal position with Baboon not having to invest a leap. That would be the ideal scenario here for Underwater Squad. Baboon's going straight in with a Primal Rage, wants to knock people into the train.
Can't quite manage to get it. Lastro using that Transcendence yet again to match the healing output of that Coalescence. Buzz is going to soon fall though, and we're so close to the Graviton Surge. We're nearing 80% now for Underwater Squad, and they're a man up. Shadow comes through from Clone Man, goes straight into the vulnerable of Balloon. However, a self-destruct is launched to the backside to try and find a semblance of something. It doesn't quite connect with anybody, but those orbs definitely connect with Far's head. Lastro finds a kill in the end, but now Underwater Squad are looking at a 90% plus bank of percent for themselves. Both beats come out as well, as Cloman is only 10% away. A Graviton Surge comes out from Barber. Shatter hits 3 people. It drags them all in. A self-destruct to finish off Panic. Overtime was there, but Skyfoxes are going to be able to turn around this point and claim the map unless Underwater Squad can get back. It's only far though on the Sombra. He's not going to be able to stall for much time, but they're going to have to kill him off rather quickly to make sure this map is said and done. Even Baboon now jumping onto the board, but it's too little. It's too late. Skyfox is going to be able to secure downtown.
Great clutch play there from Buds and FaZe combined for that combination, doing a huge amount of damage to what I imagine Underwater Squad thought was a rather healthy team. And that does mean that Skyfoxes are going to claim our first stage. We will now be moving over to Sanctuary. We do see DPS here occasionally, but I do wonder if we're going to see Buds move over onto that Sombra. I talked about it before. Buds playing on the Sombra and having FaZe on the Xayah. Not an overly uncommon composition to see coming out from the Skyfoxes. They're kind of shades of it from the Spitfire as well, and New York Excelsior.
I want to see a bit more fire, Harry. I'm going to be honest. It worked out so well for them at the start of the round, but Bud's using that Sombra. This is something rather reminiscent of, like you said, the comps coming out from Overwatch League at the moment if they don't want to run the straight 3-3. Sombra does a good job of obviously disrupting the back line. Plus, if you can farm an EMP that quickly like we've seen Guard do, it's just so easy to win every single team fight almost because there's no Lucio speed boost and there's no shields or anything, or no shields even, from the rest of the team that gets out.
Bud's opening up with a hack there onto Panic. We'll make sure that there's no Discord orb available to put onto Clone Man.
Wow, Baboon gets naded in the back, only just managing to survive. Ice actually eating the flame stroke there to save his life for a brief moment, but Baboon ends up falling to Cloman, who was just rushed on forwards with that speed boost. They do manage to find the first cap, but actually falls as well. So it's only 1-for-1 trade right now. Icy put himself in a rather risque position, actually on the point itself. Just means he sacrifices his own mech.
FaZe there caught out by Reptile. Cloman's going to be in deep trouble here. Does have the orb on him, but now he has a nano boost. He's going to be chasing around FaZe.
Down far. Far ends up going down. There's the shadow straight into the shield of Baboon, but he does manage to release Clash 1. Derek ends up falling to the ground, and a bio grenade will seal his death. And that will be still. Skyfox is continuing to hold. Baboon ends up falling once again, and Underwater Squad are going to have to go for the reset.
Buds are targeting these hacks so well, and now FaZe and Buds can combine the EMP with a Graviton Surge if they so desire, ensure no one caught within has those abilities available. Clone Man's going to hold up very close here. Want to make sure no space is given over for free to the Underwater Squad.
Uh-oh. 6-man EMP, or 5-man in fact. Reptile was not EMP'd. Everybody scurries back to spawn, but that's a one-out wonder. Easy team fight win for Skyfoxes. Bud just needed to use that single EMP, and that resets Underwater Squad.
Well, indeed, Underwater Squad going to have to go back to the drawing board. Are still going to have to deal with FaZe's Graviton Surge. Derek's yet to get his own. Is 9% away, so a couple of stray mortars will help him to do so. And he's almost got it just now, but it isn't at his beck and call like it is with FaZe. And Matt can also answer any incoming aggression with the sound barrier. Reptile's going to be looking to use his second, so they have a little bit longer on that overshield decay.
Uh-oh. Riley coming out. There's a Graviton Surge. He's going to met with the Transcendence from Panic. Another grab coming out from Derek as well. Icy has slept on the sidelines, so can't really help the rest of his team for the time being. Does end up waking up from his nap, but a nano boost now onto Clone Man once again to try and push their team forward. The shadow goes wide from Underwater Squad as they just try and scurry back to their spawn. They're going to have to regroup or something, just clutch to a semblance of this point as Clone Man finds a double kill. A charge in, boops out Baboon, but the team are just falling around him. Panic ends up going down, and Clone Man's still holding on to a shatter of his own. There's no way they're going to be able to clutch to this one back. Far jumping back on the wrecking ball. He just gets instantly solo EMP'd by Buds. Overtime ticks down, and Skyfoxes will claim Busan.
The B in Buds stands for bully. Far there, thought he could get a quick power drive and maybe contest a point for a while, but instantly EMP'd midway through that cast, fell to the ground gracefully, and then went 6 feet under as well. Skyfox is looking pretty dominant here in our first map of Busan.
Not every day we see a player game from the Lucio. I'm wondering what it is. He kind of missed all of everything there. Yeah, I'm very shocked. Oh, he got a boot kill. Okay, I'm very shocked that wasn't actually a D.Va player of the game, but wow. All right, okay, fair enough. Well, Busan goes the way of Skyfoxes. Underwater Squad, Harry, like I said before, they are in need of the W in this series in order to help them secure that spot in Contenders. It's all to play for. Skyfoxes are off to an extremely good start. That only took 8 minutes as well on Busan. That is a crazy short time.
Trying to steal away Bermuda's spot. Bermuda are currently sitting at 3 and 4, I do believe. So they do have a reasonable chance of getting into Contenders, but there's still a chance that Phase 2 and Underwater can dethrone them based on both wins and map differential at the end of the day. So Skyfoxes, they are going to be trying to sink those hopes, and they, thus far, they're doing it quite effectively, sinking Underwater squad.
Swift
to have a look. Swift to 0. And Sanctuary just looks so dominant right there. That I think that FaZe is definitely looking to be the alpha Zarya here. Even though Buds is mostly playing with Zarya in a 3-3. Having FaZe being able to flex between those two flex tanks, for, well, very good word for it, does mean that you can have Buds afford to flex away onto the Sombra.
Right. I believe we're jumping into a quick pause in a couple of seconds, but the map choice of Underwater Squad has been King's Row. And FaZe and Lastra actually jumping over from Stormquake previously, competing in Contender Season 3 in Korea. Did eventually lose out to Element Mystic being their last match, finished 3rd, 4th. Element Mystic, though, fairly strong squad when it comes to it in Korean Contenders and continues to do so. We are going to switch sides as well, so Skyfoxes will be defending first, and Underwater Squad now setting the pace car. This is very scary as well, because Skyfoxes, if they do manage to get a full hold, or if they do get some sort of semblance of full hold, even if it's a couple of ticks, Underwater Squad can have so much pressure on their shoulders to perform in the next 2 maps.
Indeed they are, and if they can't perform in the next 2 match draws, there's a good potential they'll be going home. I think they are currently sitting in our number 5 spot, so there is a chance that they can qualify for Contenders. But they, just like Bermuda, they'd be relying a lot on the whims of other teams and how they would all perform in their respective matches, 2 of which we have remaining after this particular matchup. And I wonder what we're going to be seeing out here. We may well just see standard 3-3 versus a 3-2-1 with Bud Sombra. We do know that Sombra can be incredibly effective here. Like you talked about guard and how quickly it builds EMPs. It seems like the map geometry of King's Row really lends itself to good Sombra play.
Yeah, there's also hiding points, and there's a mega health pack that's a little bit out of the way for the defenders to really scurry back to in the building at the back of the payload. But it's also kind of out the way for the attackers too. They're not really going to want to go all the way around for the big wraparound. They're more or less just going to go straight to the point where the arrow kind of points them towards. So it's a pretty good spot for a Sombra, and it does look like Buds is going to be running out with it. Lastra again on the Ana. We have Mac obviously on Lucio, so it's going to be, I don't even know what to call this kind of comp. I mean, it doesn't really have a name, of course, but it's semblance of 3-3 with Sombra instead of a D.Va.
Sombra instead of D.Va.
I mean, that's what it is, technically.
Yeah, she does have a similar damage drop-off as well, so she can bring out a reasonable level of DPS, but not quite as much shield pressure as you would expect from a D.Va. But can provide quite a bit more actual direct damage pressure, because often can circumnavigate an enemy Reinhardt's shield very effectively. And you can see, he's definitely been watching a couple of guard bots. Derek knew exactly where he was, so already taken out of stealth. Maybe was spamming that boot voice line just to give everyone a little bit of a hint as to where he was. Going to be a quick rotation here coming through from Underwater Squad.
Buzzing on the high ground as well here. He could potentially go for a hack onto Baboon. Icy is going to spot him rather rapidly, but he's still getting a lot of damage off in the back line. Baboon does get booped in towards Clone Man, as Clone Man just tries all he might to actually repair some of his shield. It's going so low. Baboon has shield advantage this current time. They're also going to be able to secure at least 1 tick. Clone Man's shield ends up going down as that rally comes through from far. Baboon lays down that shadow. Only hits 1, but it hits Mac. Could be quite an important target as Buds ends up going down as well. Far gets bio-grenaded, but they are still capping the point 100%.
Oh, this could be a nasty stagger.
Find it. A nasty stagger indeed, as Attitude ends up going down rather fast. Same with Lastro, just trying to die on point phase. It's going to do the same thing. Skyfoxes lose that point almost instantly. Buds couldn't get off an EMP. He's only 20% away, Harry, so he's going to be able to have it for his next fight. But he needed it right there and then. Underwater Squad just had the war of attrition with a D.Va and just being able to mitigate so much damage, plus put all that shield pressure onto Cloneman.
Not the deliberate and decisive engage we would have hoped for right there, but Buds will almost have EMP soon. And there's quite a few ultimates here for the side of Skyfoxes, so they may well have some luck moving into the offense of Underwater Squad. Panic needs to not get caught in the EMP right here, can use himself that Transcendence to save everyone. But he's on the wrong side of a wall, Jaws!
A bio grenade does land as well onto Reptile. That actually forces Reptile to actually use the sound barrier there to keep his team alive. The Zenyatta gets dragged onto the other side, saving the person in the Mega Health Pack room, but not anybody else on the outside of it. Buds now has the EMP as well. It was the expensive fight for both teams, but Flowman has got a Shadow online now as well as he hits the final Flame Strike. Ooh, that was nasty. The two supports was forced to be used there by Underwater Squad.
Tragic there for Underwater Squad, not even getting anything off of those two support ultimates except vague survival. They just went full disengage mode. And Bud's here, ready to EMP. You can see what he's hiding behind. There it is.
Perfect EMP as soon as that Graviton Surge came out to annihilate all the shields from Derek, plus any follow-up damage that there was trying to incur. He does take out far as well, as his shield obviously was dropped through the EMP. Cloneman finds the kill onto Baboon. Derek now scurrying back to his spawn. Skyfoxes are in a very good position also. They have that Graviton Surge coming up as well.
See, Budzo was very smart about his win conditions. He knew that both Reptile and Panic could use their support ultimates in the previous fight, so he didn't have to worry about them answering any EMP. He was very happy to just get Baboon, Derek, and Icy. That was all that was required to get a decisive engagement from his team. Cloman's going to back up now, seed all the space away. FaZe has been caught out.
That was from the top rope, that Shadow. Does manage to catch FaZe and kill him off. Self-destruct a little bit lagged. Where did it go around the corner? Just clipping the roof ever so slightly, slowing it down, but it didn't seem to matter. Flowman will end up falling. Derek finding himself a nice two-piece. Attitude just jumping onto the payload to die. ASAP. FaZe does get away. Oh no, did end up dying first, apologies. And he does still have that Graviton Surge available to him, so they could still go for another re-engage.
Look at all this space that was now being claimed by Derek. He doesn't have a rune at his side. There he is. It's going to give him the shield that he needs to be able to survive for a while longer. Flowman's going to eat a fire strike, and Derek's just going to continue getting that damage, farming up towards that Graviton Surge and trying to deal a lot of damage to Cloneman's shield.
They're going to grab off the payload right now. Big fire grenade to keep everybody alive on the payload. Cloneman does get nanoed also. You can see Buds from a mile away firing off his small SMG. Another grab comes through, this time on the side of FaZe. He does pin people to the car, or at least try to. Everybody managed to get out of the way rather quickly. The beat gets erased as that EMP comes through and hits 3 people. However, a Transcendence comes out from Panic to keep everybody alive. He wasn't quite hit and still manages to survive the upcoming fight. Icy gets hacked as well in the front line as the Shadow comes through for Baboon, but it hits Cloneman's shield, and now Baboon is going to get bio-grenaded.
2 Shadows used, 2 Shadows whiffed, but Cloneman 16 is already down. No one's on the cart, Jaws.
No one's on the cart, and no one will be. Not from the side of Skyfoxes, that is. Another nice bio-grenade does land on 4 people, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the Underwater Squad will march on forward. Skyfoxes get routed, go all the way back to their spawn, and 3 minutes and 30 seconds now for Underwater Squad to cap third.
FaZe here surviving is a big boon, though. He will be able to keep his energy and keep spamming in towards Baboon's shield and help for Cloneman to win out that all-important shield wall, which can dictate the pace of a 3-3 composition. Buds forced to use Translocator early, got caught out by Derek. Derek definitely has a sense for where Buds is right now. They've tried to corner him, will be forced to Translocate away again.
No rally coming out.
Not again, FaZe! 2 in a row!
Oh, what is this? Icy is so low. He is hacked as well. He has that self-destruct to beat coming through from Mac to try and keep everybody alive. And a nano boost onto Cloneman once again. Doesn't quite find the pin as he just boops the D.Va, boops the Xayah out of the way, but still manages to connect the Flame Strike to the back of Baboon. That'll be Icy falling too, as the rest of Skyfoxes are able to clean up this fight. And Cloneman earning himself another Shadow. Fire's going to go down once more. Buds with the EMP as well. So they could combine these or just go for a one-on wonder again.
I want FaZe to stay well away from that cart while he's ulting, because he's now ulted the cart twice with, as far as I can tell, no one on it. So 2 grabs for very little value, not ideal. Buds, though, hiding once again. He's going to go for that sneaky Graviton Surge. He knows that Panic will have that Transcendence available. He's got to catch for Zenyatta here if he wants an effective EMP.
Got to get him. He's hunting for him. He's looking. He doesn't manage to get it as Panic jumps up from the high ground and does manage to keep everybody alive during that Transcendence. Not quite, though, as far does end up getting pinned against the wall by Cloneman. That instantaneous damage, ending his life extremely quickly. Panic and Baboon are also going to go down. Regardless of that Transcendence going off, Cloneman just carrying the fight.
great understanding there of how to deal with the Transcendence that had come out. They got a biotic grenade onto just Reptile, focused him down. Healing couldn't come through. Next was Far, less than 300 health, so he can be killed by a charge, delivering that burst damage. Took out most of the support line, and they weren't going to take an underhanded fight. They weren't going to go 4 versus 6.
Graviton Surge does hit Attitude and Clone Man. Baboon now swinging into it with ease. His Attitude ends up falling as well. Lastro gets a good sleep dart on Baboon, but it's all said and done. That will be Underwater Squad continuing to move this payload. Mac also doing a fairly good job of stalling out, but he will get killed off by Icy in the end as he does try to run back to spawn. A minute and 20 seconds, Harry. Half the time bank has elapsed, and Skyfoxes have a couple ults to come out the spawn doors with.
Well, Reptile's going to have to drop that beat extra hard if he gets caught in a Graviton Surge. FaZe can throw that out, and then you can have a Nano Reinhardt swinging in. That's a huge amount of damage. You could potentially be profit here. Baboon can stand him up, though. Almost has the Earth Shadow ready to go.
Love sticking him to the payload, but this one is rather successful as Clone Man manages to kill off 3 people that are stuck on it. And Nano Boost as well being put to good use. Does earn himself a Shadow in the meantime as well. Now only 15 seconds remain for Underwater Squad to actually touch that payload and actually deliver it to the 3rd point. The Skyfoxes unrelenting in their assault.
Crucially, Buds once again almost has an EMP, currently 16 seconds away. He's scouted out Far, knows where he is, but he's got to remember that Far is going to be swinging for the fences, just making sure that he can de-stealth Buds if he gets anywhere near. Buds can try and assassinate here on Panic. We'll try and open up with that. It's going to be a good peel.
Nice little peel backwards. Mac has that sound barrier as well for a Baboon Shadow, so we'll see if he wants to use that in time. He doesn't use it just yet as the Shadow comes through, as that EMP does manage to connect to the ground as well. That Transcendence isn't going to be able to heal Reptile up as he's instantly taken out. Panic's still healing up the rest of his team, but they're going to need to touch in a couple of seconds as the time is ticking down. Only 5 seconds now remain. Icy tries to clear some space out with that self-destruct. Manages to kill Clone Man as he was getting charged. And now you can see the desperation from Skyfoxes as they try and touch this payload.
Mac wants to try and wall right past. He's going to get onto there, but Icy's there waiting. Buds is there too. May try to get off a hack right here. We'll get potentially one onto Baboon.
Attitude is going to go down. Clone Man tries to get a pin onto the payload. 2 Graviton Surges meet each other. A beautiful bio grenade coming through from Skyfoxes. This could be it. Lastro finds the Nano as well, but regardless of that going off, it doesn't matter. Underwater Squad undeterred by the healing they could not receive and still swing for the fences. Baboon going 8. Killing off 3 people at the very end.
Got to give credit to Icy and Baboon for that quite well-timed self-destruct into charge combination. Usually you see the Reinhardt Divex is being charged out of a Graviton Surge, but Clone Man was just caught out. Potentially, he may have got the charge for the mutual stun, so they both got stunned. But in either case, whether he was being pinned or whether he was lying on the floor, he wasn't able to shield away that damage coming through from self-destruct. And once you lose your main tank, as we all know, in the meta we're well familiar with now, 3-3, basically, that is a lost fight. And you've either got to try and disengage, or you've got to feed onto the car. And the second you lose that shield, that's when Derek and Icy can feast and start building up their ultimates, because there's no shield in the way of their respective damage types. You can farm them with a beam, you can farm them with a fusion cannon. It doesn't really matter so much to Reinhardt, because they do damage through shield anyway.
They do. Luckily that Flame Strike does a fair bit as well, regardless of that shield health. And there's a little bit of shield damage as well, so it's a 2-for-1, Harry. It is! You laugh, but it's a 2-for-1. You get shield damage, plus you get HP damage too.
Yeah, man. I've actually seen quite a few Reinhardts know that other Reinhardts will put down their shields for fire strikes to conserve shield health, and they'll use that to get an Earth Shadow. They get the read on when they'll put their shield down to conserve the health. And it can very much get in another Reinhardt's head. So you've got to try and vary up when you're dropping your shield to maintain the health versus the fire strikes of the enemy Reinhardt. Because obviously every single sliver of shield health is important in that all-important shield war.
Skyfox is continuing with this solo DPS with Buds on the Sombra and Lastro on the Ana. Really love hitting those nades. I mean, he's done a fantastic job of doing it so far. It's just unlucky that they couldn't really follow up in the last couple of moments of the last round. I'm going to push on to the point, though. Rather slow right at this current moment, but it could all kick off at any second. Hack onto the Brigitte, and as soon as they see Buds disappear, another bio grenade lands. It's going to hit Reptile, and if he manages to get killed, he does phase from downtown, launching a plasma mortar in between Far and Baboon's shield, takes him out, but Clone Man and Mac will bite the dust as well.
FaZe is going to be able to maintain his energy if he isn't hunted down here. You can see Attitude playing a warding role. Buds up on the high ground. Got to be careful not to catch any of those Zenyatta rolls. They do a butt ton of damage.
Well, he is nano boosted and he is 100% charged as well. Two-man Graviton Surge is going to get met with that Transcendence from Panic. Baboon is already dead in that bio grenade. You're going to have to look out for it rather soon. It does land on Clone Man and Lastro in order to keep them alive. And even Bud's jumping into the grab in order to get that EMP off the rest of the remaining members of Underwater Squad. They do manage to get that Lucio out in time. Panic not quite so lucky. Rather immobile is the Zen. And they are going to be able to at least get 2 ticks on this point. Potentially a third as well. As we do see Underwater Squad, yet committing to the full reset.
I got to give it credit there to Reptile. While he was in the grab, he managed to boop the nano phase away and force his mortar to hit onto a wall instead of on the people within the Graviton Surge. That secured their life for a little while longer, and that was a really good game sense play by him to try and mitigate the danger of a nano boosted 100 charge Zarya. Have to see whether any space can be claimed here by Underwater Squad. Right now, it does seem like Skyfoxes are going to be ceding some of that away. They got what they wanted out of this particular exchange. Now they're going to bring everyone into the clutches of Buds. They want to be able to take those slow fights where Buds can decide on the engagement speed.
He's a little bit more ult charge. Oh my goodness, Reptile, a little bit too high up. He gets picked off by Lastro already. Another nice bio grenade on the back line too. Derek and Icy afflicted with the anti-heal. Baboon ends up going down to a flame strike. FaZe is going to clean up far. Rather easy team fight as soon as you lose your Lucio. Underwater Squad don't have the AoE heals nor the speed boost to actually end or even start the fight. They end up losing it. They die on the payload. Skyfoxes continue to move the cart, but have 5 ultimates on board for the next fight.
And when we talk about this patch, you got to also think that while we do think about Divas eating Gravitons as one of the main reasons why they might not be so powerful, with the defense matrix having been nerfed in terms of cooldown time, they also can't as reliably eat biotic grenades, and Lastro is definitely exploiting that by hitting these onto multiple people every time they fight.
Rally used about far. That will be a Transcendence to match that Graviton Surge. The self-destruct is launched into the air, doesn't quite find anybody, but Baboon gets hit square in the face with that bio grenade to take him out. A 5-man EMP in the back line as well. There's no way you can stand up to that if you're Underwater Squad. They're going to go straight to the grave, straight back to spawn, and Skyfox is going to cap the 3rd point. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, a minute ahead of where Underwater Squad were last round. And
with Derek, Baboon, and potentially Reptile being staggered, Reptile will get away. This is a lot of free distance right here. Bud's going to be desperately trying to build up towards yet another EMP, but last one was incredibly effective. And I want to point out a little bit of synergy that we saw between Clone Man and Lastro right there. They charged Baboon out of the Graviton Surge, and they actually timed the charge along with a biotic grenade so that there would be no Transcendence healing coming through to save Baboon after that. It was really good play from Lastro and Clone Man.
Also, there's a bit of extra damage too, so if it doesn't quite finish him off with a charge, it does. The nade does explode, obviously do a little bit of damage. Very much helps unless you have a Zarya at your back. There's a Graviton Surge. Mac and Clone Man are actually pinned to the cart. Nice little bubble there onto Mac to keep him alive. A 3-man Graviton Surge coming through from Skyfoxes as well, though. Panic is already going to take out Bud, so there's very little damage follow-up now for Skyfoxes. They throw 2 ults in. They are able to get really a lot out. Underwater Squad now just chasing Skyfoxes back to spawn. Already up to 50% is Derek on his next Graviton Surge.
Yeah, Cyclic Low Generation definitely helping out here. Baboon is ready to go with that Earth Shadow. It's going to have a significant advantage over Clone Man. But just showering in some SMG fire, trying to build up towards that EMP. But Baboon knows how important it is here to hold his shield up. Can't allow Buzz to get any free damage, because that EMP is a huge win condition right now for a 3-2-1 composition of a Sky. Oh no! What is this?
No! Mac finds the boop on 2. Baboon and Derek ascend to the Shadow Realm. Oh my goodness, and look at the ults that they had as well. Baboon's going to come back with that Shadow. Panic is going to use that Transcendence to even just touch the payload. Icy's going to receive a whole lot of healing, but actually gets slept in the meantime. Baboon comes back, shatters the shield, and Clone Man shatters his hopes and dreams. A nice EMP coming through from Underwater Squad, scoring 5 people, and that beat as well to hopefully seal the deal. Lastro's is having a field day in the back line, even Clone Man with the shatter on the solo Brigitte. Derek gets Graviton Surge off the payload, 0.6 meters now remain. They're going to manage to cap it. Skyfoxes, or even Mac, with the perfect way to start that fight. The double boop to seal Skyfoxes in the lead when it comes to time bang.
That was very nearly disastrous there for Skyfoxes though. Buds was in stealth, trying to line himself up for a great EMP, and he actually got earth shattered. Like, I'm pretty sure Baboon didn't know where he was, but Buds was standing next to a teammate. So himself and another teammate, I believe for Brigitte, got shattered, but FaZe actually saved that entire push by getting a projected barrier onto Buds and also body blocking with his own barrier, allowing Buds to stay alive despite his small health pool against all the attention, meaning that Buds could then follow up with his own EMP. and secure that fight. So great team play there from FaZe.
2 minutes and 40 seconds in the time bank. Skyfoxes, because they're over a minute now. Underwater squad, they don't get anything, Harry. It's only 33% remaining for Skyfoxes to take match point in the series. And remember, Underwater squad currently fighting for their lives for a place in North American Contenders. How would you feel right now if you are Underwater squad? You faced Paradigm yesterday. You managed to cut out a win, but right now, Skyfoxes, if they score you here, if they end up winning this series, your chances of making it in are diminished.
Yeah, it's a very scary time to be Underwater squad. That much is certain. They need to clutch up right now. They need to figure out their game plan. And they need to get a real read on Buds and Miss Sombra, because it seems like right now they are absolutely flummoxed. If no one else, Derek seems to have a good idea of where Buds wants to play this in stealth. They don't really know how they're going to deal with this incoming hack. Like Baboon there, caught out. That's going to force a disengagement. It's a massive anti.
4-man nade. Far is going to have to run for the hills. They do manage to get back in time because Reptile was using that speed up. However, look at the positioning now Skyfoxes have. Look how much space they've actually claimed. Underwater squad are going to have a bit of trouble actually getting this back.
Got to give some credit here to Underwater squad for their disengagements. Clone Man so much
nade. Unbelievable on Reptile. Derek was inflicted too, as well as the Icy's mech. Clone Man gets nanoed in the end as well. That gives so much ult charge too. Underwater squad swept under the rug. Sinking like a stone. Skyfoxes with a victory EMP in the end. Land themselves at match point in the series.
FaZe again with a clutch bubble. Lastro got earth shattered there, and 2 swings from Baboon were in there, so he had 50 health left before the bubble came through, and he was getting up as the bubble happened, managed to grenade himself. A great save there onto Lastro, allowing for Nano onto Clone Man and the cleanup from there. Got to give credit for the disengages, like I said before, when the hacks and the anti-nades came through, but they just gave up too much space in the process.
Clone Man with 34k damage blocked. Not bad, not bad. Clone Man and Lastro proving to be quite a fearsome duo when it comes down to how they're just layering these nades, and Clone Man's ability just to run people down with a nano. I don't want to see a Zen from Lastro. I just want to see an Ana like consistently. There's no way that you don't continue to run the Ana if you are hitting nades